Good evening, everyone. Today I'm going to talk something about Bernoulli's principle and the Venturi effect. Visit me at www.painfreepartha.com for slides and painfreepartha for YouTube videos. What is this Bernoulli's theorem? It is a statement of energy conservation for a flowing fluid. Now, a fluid is flowing. Okay, there is a pressure energy, kinetic energy, and potential energy. All these are same. Whatever the narrowness or the breadth of the tube, it should be incompressible and non-viscous fluid. So this viscous fluid may stick. It's a non-viscous fluid. This is what is the Bernoulli's theorem. And now this can see the but height of the fluid and density of the fluid should be considered. Bernoulli's principle, named after Daniel Bernoulli, states for an inviscid flow. Now what he has told, kinetic potential, everything, if you add up, the same. So if you increase here in the speed, the pressure here is decreased. This is what is Bernoulli's principle. If the flow of air through a narrow tube, the pressure decreases and the speed increases. This is what's called Bernoulli's principle. Now we should know the difference between Bernoulli's theorem and Bernoulli's principle. The slight change. A Bernoulli's principle diagram illustrates that as the fluid pressure increases, its pressure decreases, showing in various pipeline or curved foils, airfoils. So we can see this is the Bernoulli's theorem being used for these wings. When faster air over the top creates lower pressure, generating lift. So this is what is. Now I will go into this Venturi again, but it is not equivalent to Bernoulli's principle. It was Bernoulli. Now you can see in an Italian physicist Venturi, what he told, he created a Venturi meter. He told the same thing only. He devised the flow rate of the fluid. Wide section, narrow throat, and then widens again. This is what is called a Venturi meter. He told that this device can be used to measure the flow rate across the tube. Now we will go what is their importance in anesthesia. When a glass flows through rapidly through a narrow space, its pressure falls. That is what is the simple. When you have a pressure fall, the surrounding air is entrained if you have a hole in that area. This effect is used for Venturi masks. This effect is used in nebulizers, atomizers, jet ventilators, and suction devices. These are all the uses of Bernoulli's principle in anesthesia. Now we can say what is jet nebulizer. A nebulizer, normal nebulizer. Now we have a jet of air coming, or it may be a compressed air, it may be an oxygen. Okay. Then it's pressed through a narrow nozzle. In the narrow nozzle, what happens is the pressure drops. It entrains the fluid here, so it becomes a droplet and then hits the baffle. This is the baffle. And hits the baffle, goes into so much of aerosol. This is what is called a simple nebulizer using Bernoulli's principle. Now you can see air from the compressor and the baffle is created and the patient inspires. Now this is what somebody say, if you go like this, the fluid is taken. This is what is a cone. We can see some people have cones like this. If you don't have the cone on the nebulizer, it may not only. So this is needed and it channelizes the going up of the fluid because of the low pressure created here. And here there is a primary atomization and hits the baffle and goes here as a secondary atomization, gets additional air and the patient gets this aerosolized drug. This is a simple jet nebulizer using Bernoulli's principle. Now, what is an atomizer? We always spray, Lignocaine spray, atomizer, no? When the pump is pressed, the air is forced through a nozzle. And the air flows here, and this There is a negative pressure from which the lignocaine solution is taken, and the air also flows here, so that the fine mist is created. Now you can see here, I will also, this is a simple thing. People, this is my drum. Now, if you create a pressure here, it will go here and push the drug somewhat, and the air is also going outside, and there is a small narrowing here. This creates a Bernoulli's Venturi effect, or whatever it is, sucks in the air onto the patient. This is a simple atomizer, lignocaine spray. So previously perfumes was using also the same thing. Perfume is drop here, pressure, same atomizer, fine. This is the same effect. The gas which is pressurized comes through the nozzle to the liquid also and goes along with this also. When it goes along with it, and it creates the negative pressure at a narrowing, sucks in the fluid and misses. What is a jet ventilator? Now we assume a nebulizer. Now we are going to jet ventilator. It delivers bursts of high pressure oxygen through a narrow jet. As the gas accelerates through the constriction, pressure drops so that there is an entrainment, and then entrains surrounding air. We can also connect some an isoflurane or something and get into the airway. The mixed gas enters the parachute at controlled frequency and pressure, providing ventilation while using small tidal volumes and minimal airway movement. This is what is a simple jet ventilator which utilizes Venturi effect for entrainment of gases and pushes into the lungs. A simple suction apparatus now very can also be modified instead of a electrical mechanism to get the negative pressure. Yes, you can have a high flow here and there is a narrowing here. Since narrowing is a negative pressure, and this suction sits and goes out. So very simple thing. So even a suction apparatus, Venturi effect or the Bernoulli's basic principle can be used. This Venturi effect and the Bernoulli's principle are linked together as same thing, but it is not that. Bernoulli is a different physicist and Venturi is an Italian physicist. So he devised the Venturi meter for finding out the flow rate. That is why it became colloquial to mention and made synonymous with it. Now we can also use anesthesia exhaust is there, no, from the exhaust, from the back of the ventilator. Anesthesia exhaust you create here. And a compressed air, a negative pressure, the exhaust gases, and the outlet is there. Yes, we can have this exhaust also, or a scavenging system also, utilizing Venturi effect or Bernoulli's principle. What is commonly used is a Venturi mask. Okay, in the Venturi mask, the oxygen is pressurized here, and here there are a lot of holes which are designed for flow rate and for the entrainment. The hole is also different, the entrainment hole is also different. This narrowness is also different, the entrainment port is also different. So it becomes here and entrains gases and goes into the patient. Now this is a simple mask for all FiO2s. You can rotate it like this and this entrainment channel will change. But we can also have different FiO2s for different Venturi masks. Now the important thing is because it entrains so much air along with oxygen, it gives a flow rate of 20 liters per minute. Normally, we are breathing at 3 liters per minute. We are giving oxygen, that is 28%. Now, if you breathe like that, so the inspiratory flow rate is high, so that our routine mask may not give that flow rate. But Venturi mask will give a high flow rate because of the entrainment. And the FiO2, what we have fixed is 30% means 30%, and whatever be the inspiratory flow rate. This is because of the Bernoulli's principle. That is why it is called fixed performance devices. Now it's a single venturi. This is a multiple venturi. You can have single venturi like this. Now these are multiple venturis which are color coded for those FiO2s. Propellants, they don't use venturis. For example, a lot of cockroach, they have propellants. And as soon as there is a pressure, there is a canister in which the propellant drug is there, the original drug is there. For example, you can have an MDI. This canister which you press, it will spread like this here. But there is no venturi in this. Thank you very much. Before that, if you go back and turn your gas upside down stove, the LPG will come from here and it will entrain air here and go. This is the commonest Venturi effect or Bernoulli's principle used in our life, day-to-day practice. So sometimes what happens is current gas stoves that this Venturi may be close to the burner where it will come, takes the air and then spreads it out to have a smooth burning. Thank you all and visit me at Pain Free Partha on YouTube, subscribe and enjoy. Thank you very much.